Welcome back to Money's Book List. So I am here to do what is known as the mid-year freakout, although it is July, so I'm just calling a freakout. It is a mid-year freakout tag. I'm using the questions from the mid-year freakout tag. I'm basically just checking in and just telling you about my reading so far. So let's get started. Best book I've read so far. So this was hard for me because I've tried very hard not to use the same books over and over again for some of these questions, because one or two of these books definitely can fit in various categories here. So I think I went with this book because it was the most recently good read, and it's called The Impossible Girl by Lydia King. And this book, so I'm going to say trigger warnings for any type of childhood trauma, not limited to abuse, physical, sexual, mental. Listen, there is trauma here, okay? Trigger warning for death of parent, all that good stuff. But this book was amazing. It's set in the 1800s in New York, and this little girl is born with what is perceived as a second heart in her rib cage, and she grows up. She grows up to kind of like an interesting situation. I'm actually going to do a book review on it, so I'm not going to tell you too much about it here. But so far, it is the best book I read. It kept me on the edge of my seat. I was very interested in it, and I enjoyed it all the way through. And I was really surprised that it's not talked about a lot on BookTube, but that's neither here nor there. Next question. Best sequel I've read in 2021. Everyone knows. Act Your Age, Eve Brown. Okay? I think it's chapter 17. Chapter 17 alone takes it, okay? New release you haven't read yet but want to. Not Pretending Anymore by Penelope Ward and Vi Keelan. These two can't do no wrong for me. They just can't. I love them with everything in me. I love their romance novels. I enjoy them a lot, so I cannot wait to read this. This actually was released, I think, early June, maybe May. So yeah, I am excited to read this. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Anyone who knows me knows I'm trying to get that third and final book in the Kiss Quotient series, and it is called The Heart Principle, and it is Kwan's story. Listen, Helen, girl, do me right. That's all I'm saying. I am so excited about that book, because he's been telling it, I just when he was talking to his brother in that one book, and this boy already had he had instructional books in his house, okay, on how to take care and please, okay. Biggest disappointment for 2021. So I'm gonna just tell you the truth. The Year of the Witch, The Year of the Witching, and The Daughters of Nari. Both of those books were fantasy books written from the point of view of... Okay, so The Year of the Witching is about a biracial girl, and it sounds like a very kind of pilgrim, or sorry, what is it? Puritan town. And what I did not like about it is that it just was slow. I think I stopped reading at chapter 15 when there was still nothing really happening. I was just like, okay, I'm done. And then The Daughters of Nari, I feel like the characters were not fully developed enough for me to care about them. And then the conclusion of that book literally could have been the end of the series. I don't know why there's a second book. There was no cliffhanger. For me, it felt like conclusion. And I don't know why there's a series. I don't know why there's a series. Okay. Biggest surprise. The Impossible Girl by Lydia King. Favorite new author, debut or new to you? Alexa Gordon. I discovered her this year. She is a murder mystery novelist, and she's a cozy murder mystery novelist. And I said this in my faith video. Her books remind me so much of Jessica Fletcher, and they are so cozy. They are so nice to read. They have such a warm feeling, and there's a touch of like, they're just nice. The difference is that there was no supernatural or ghost in Murder, She Wrote, but they are in the Gethsemane Brown series, because that's the series I read by her, and I love it. It's so good. All of it is good. I suggested, recommend, 10 out of 10. All right, next question. New fictional crush. So I'm going to tell you, I feel like a bit of a whore because I have 3. So Gabe Wolf from Awestruck and Starstruck. McKinnon Carter from The Bravest Hero. And then Brendan from The Red Scott. And these are all written by Twyla Turner. She knows how to write a good man, okay? Where she be talking about these big old boys. Oh, they be big. And they be loving them round, curvy chicks, okay? So yeah, so those 3 men, like all of the ways that she describes them. Gabe is, I think he's Italian. No, he's mixed with, what is it? Norwegian, and his mother is either Spanish. Yeah, it's Spanish and Norwegian. And then McKinnon Carter is just this like fitness model / firefighter. And then Brandon is just this MMA fighter. Come on now. He's called the Large Scott. Like he's a big old, listen. Okay, let me go ahead and go on to my next question. Newest favorite character, Gethsemane Brown from the Gethsemane Brown series by Alexa Gordon. A book that made you cry this year. I don't think there's been one. A book that made you happy. So many. I would say, yeah, so many. The Impossible Girl, Get a Life. Oh, sorry, Act Your Age, Eve Brown. All the ones I liked this year have made me happy. The most beautiful book you've bought this year or received. So I didn't buy any really pretty books. A beautiful cover, a book that had a beautiful cover that I read this year, would for sure be The Daughters of Nari. The cover of that book is just gorgeous. Like those 2 beautiful, just melanated women with those gold accents. Come on. Life all day, every day I get from that. What book do you need to read by the end of the year? The Heart Principle. Period. All right. Book to movie / TV series adaptation you've seen this year. Okay. So Sweet Magnolias by Cheryl Woods. I love that. I love the TV series. I'm hoping I read like the books. I'm hoping that I do. I picked up the first one to read. Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardo. Sorry. The Witcher. I rewatched it. And then Outlander. So hold on. I'm going to save the Outlander for last because we need to talk about that. Orange is the New Black. I finally watched the 3rd season. Because like after the 2nd season, I was like, how much more y'all going to be able to do of this? And then the 3rd season came and I was just like, I don't want to really watch it. But, you know, the pandemic was still going on at the beginning of the year, so I watched it. I think there was one more season after that. And then You by Carolina, I don't know how to say her last name. You is about this dude who is stalking this girl, and okay, so am I the only one that liked him to a certain extent? When he told the first girl, I got rid of your headache, I got rid of people who didn't want you to succeed. Was he lying though? Was he lying? Was he lying? I just want to know that. Was he lying in the first season with that one girl that was her friend? Was he lying though? No, he wasn't. All right, and then Outlander. Let me tell you here. The Outlander is a televised, scripted porno. I'm just gonna say it. Okay, I don't know how. I'm just gonna say it is. Like, you can't convince me that it's not. Now listen, I have not gotten through the first season because I've never watched a show that I literally am uncomfortable because there's so much sex in it. This, like, it's not every episode, but when it's in there, it is in there. Okay. That one with the show opens when he is waking her up, I'm just like, okay, first and foremost, giving honor to God. Listen, let me just tell you, that scene sitting next to my, like, I literally, we weren't expecting it, because I was telling my, I was like, you just need to watch it. It's talking about the little, my husband and I both love history, so there's bits of history in these books, in the books, and also in the show. So I was like, you just need to watch it. It's talking about the last rise of the last, like, you know, and I'm just explaining it to him, and so he picks this one episode, the episode where he's waking her up, and I'm just like, well, see, what happened was, this does happen in this TV show, but there's so much more that goes on besides all of the sex. I didn't convince him, so he now thinks I just watched that show for the sex. I don't know if he's lying. I don't even know if that's a lie. I do like the acting, I do like the actors, and I do like the story. I think it's a very interesting premise for a woman to go back in history and fall in love with a different person altogether and then have babies with this man. That is so interesting to me. Anyway, that is my check-in. How are you doing with your so far? Let me just tell you, everybody knows that January was okay. February was a heavy hitter because we were part of a was it a readathon? Yeah, we were part of a readathon. March, because of the readathon, it was like it felt like it was still momentum. I was still reading I was heavy hitting them with the reading in March. April, I think for everyone, including myself, struggled a lot in April. Like, I just was not feeling it in April to read. Like, you couldn't pay me. Everything I picked up I didn't like. And I just felt bad because I was just like, I don't think I'm in a space where I'm going to like this book. I actually picked up a bunch of books and put them down because I knew I was in a reading slump and I didn't want to read them and then not like them based on me being in a reading slump. So, yeah, I'll be picking them back up soon. But May and June, they've been pretty decent. I started off this month of July pretty decent. I'm reading this really interesting book now. But yeah, I got some other books. I'm going to read the last book in the Gethsemane Brown series that's out right now. And then I'm going to read another book from The Crew of Hunters, which I talked about in my fave. And so, yeah, so far so good. My goal is 115 books. And the reason for that is because I know maybe 30 to 40% of that is going to be cookbooks, even though they're counted towards your reading goal. I want my ultimate, like, reading novels and reading books, not cookbooks, to be 80 books, or 85. So to do that, I had to bump my reading, I had to bump my number up to 115 because I'm already at 79 or 70 books or something like that. So yeah, so far so good. I feel comfortable where I am. I think if I stay on a steady pace of like 6 to 7 books a month, by the end of the year I will hit that 115, and I think the goal of 80 plus being novels will be accomplished. And if I don't, it is life. Nobody is holding me to that 115. Nobody's gonna fight me if I don't make it to that 115, and if they do fight me, I'll lose. Okay, I'm lying. I ain't gonna lose. But ain't nobody gonna hurt me because if I don't read 115 books. But I'm gonna do it my best, okay? So until next time, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're at the mark where you want to be with your reading. If not, it's just reading. It's supposed to be for fun. Enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, put that bitch down. and wait till you are in a better space or pick up something else. So until next time, you know what I'm going to say, and that is always bye for now.